Hi everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to make a synth that's used in the song "Ignore" by Ossie featuring uh, Tilz, who I don't know much about, but it's a pretty cool synth, pretty easy to make. It doesn't have a lot to do with the initial sound. It really is more of how the sound moves, basically when you hit a note. So it's modulation, but if you haven't heard the song, this is how it goes. So that synth right there. Not a lot, like I said before. Should be pretty quick. So we're gonna open up Reason. Just get an initial, starting untitled rack. This is personal preference. I always just like to detach all these windows and kind of separate them. Makes it a little bit more clear. So for instruments, we're going to create a subtractor. And if you haven't set this up already, you need to have the patch initialized. If you do not have it, you can right click and hit reset device and it will bring you to an initial patch. So for oscillator 1, we're going to set the phase difference to 91 or 92, that's fine. You're going to make this an X sign, and you're pretty much actually all set here. For filter 1 though, you're going to want to set the frequency to 5, so it's going to be really low, barely anything. The resonance is going to be set to 40, and instead of a low pass filter for 12, you're going to make a low pass 24, and then this stays the same, KBD, and you don't have to link it. This modulation envelope here doesn't make that much of a difference, but I'm just going to give you this anyway because it could be useful. You want to set the attack to 16, the decay to 0, the sustain to about 28, and the resonance to 32. And you want to have the amount set to 20 and this destination set to mix. The only reason why, or the only reason how this would become really useful is if you actually turned on this second oscillator, because the destination is set to the mix between oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. This is a good variation, so if you wanted to mess around with this a little more, especially like the phase, what type of waveform you got here, these little 3 modes, I don't know what you call it, but yeah. And the more that you affect the amount, the greater impact it will have on the mix between oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. So yeah, like I said, not that important for this and actual synth, but good settings to have. You can mess around with it later. Anyway, filter envelope. You're gonna have this set to 0. The decay, sorry, is gonna be set to 71 or 70. The sustain can stay at 0, and the resonance can get moved up to 82. That's cool. And then you want to set the amount to 40. So it's here what we have. Well, so you can kind of hear the filter envelope, how it's working, how it's affecting that sound, how it moves, kind of brings it up really high, and then it kind of goes back down. If we actually increase the amount, just to prove the point even more, you kind of have like more of a dramatic attack on the sound initially, and more of a dramatic kind of decay, I guess, on how it's hit. So that's just to prove the point of what this actually does. But yeah, you could set the filter envelope to 40? Yeah, 40. And then the amp envelope. So the attack should go to 10. The decay all the way up, 127. Sustain, 127. The release should be about 50. Okay, so yeah, that's the initial sound. From here on out, it's going to be just like EQ and a couple of other things to kind of bring it out more. So let's open up a M-Class EQ. We're going to have the low shelf turned on. Set the frequency to 58. Bring this down, the gain down to about 4.6 decibels. And this Q should be about 1.83. That's good. Parameter 1. Frequency should be 250, 250.7. That's fine. The gain should be raised, not that much, maybe like 5 decibels. It's cool. And the Q should be at like 2.1. It's cool. And parameter 2. So the frequency should be 5.102 kilohertz. Bring the gain up just a little more, yeah, 4 decibels, and kind of want to set the Q to 3 on this one. So that's the EQ shape that we want. And next you're going to open up a chorus. And there's not going to be much going on here, obviously, 4 buttons, but the delay should be set to 52. The feedback should go to about 14 or 12. 10, 14, 12. Honestly, you can guesstimate that. I pretty much did. The rate should be about 18. So we just added on these two units. Let's see how the sound changes. So you can hear it being wider, and you might not hear the EQ that much, obviously, because I'm playing it through my speakers. It's going to sound different on yours. But if you take into consideration that when you play full chords, these frequencies are going to boost more, these frequencies are going to boost more. It'll sound better. One more thing, we'll just add a reverb unit here. So keep it at Hall, set the size to -52, set the decay to -50, set the damping to 40, oh shit, that was actually, and the dry wet to 22. So just a little more reverb there. Alright, so that's the sound in itself, but I'll actually open up how I use the sound to recreate the chords that are in the song. So yeah. So the filter envelope is really doing the movement with the sound. Like I said, the amount is going to affect exactly how it's attacked and how it's released. So I'll give you the chords really quickly. I'm in the wrong window. Here we go. So yeah. Also here, certain notes are a little bit lighter than others. This kind of just lets their harmonics, be a little more subtle when you hit those chords. But even in the song, it does the same thing. So if you actually pay attention to it, you'll kind of get the gist of where things are hit. Harder, where things are a little bit softer, all that good stuff. So for the notes here, it's just G sharp, B, D sharp, which is just a minor chord, and then the add-ons, F sharp, A sharp, and then it's pretty much this exact chord, just moved up an octave. So once again, you're going to have G sharp, B, D sharp, and F sharp. See? And for the next one, it's the same pattern as this, the first two chords, but it's just moved down a half step. So instead of a G sharp that you have here, you're gonna have a G here. So it's gonna be G, B, I'm sorry, let's say B flat, A sharp, whatever, D, which is minor chord again, F, and A, which gives that chord, and then up an octave, G, A sharp, D, I don't know why it does that, it should be G, B flat, D, F, G. So, there you go. Where are we? That's what you're hearing more there. So that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed. If you like what you see, please comment, subscribe, like the video. I'm always down to see video responses, see how you guys use this stuff. And if you want to see another type of sound built with reason, please, send me a message, send it my way. Always interested. So yeah, enjoy.